For Pakistan, there's no question but that Afghanistan is an India-centric phenomenon. That is, Afghanistan is seen as providing an opportunity for India to engage in what it would be, in fact, the encirclement of Pakistan. And from a military, geostrategic sense, this represents, obviously, a considerable threat, were it the case. Interestingly, and I submit to you, India's perspective is different. India sees Afghanistan not as an opportunity to bring about a second front, if you will, against Pakistan, but India sees it, certainly in recent years, as a critical place, a place where India has a stake because of Islamic extremism. So for India, Pakistan is about Islamic extremism. And the regional implications of an extremist ascendancy in Afghanistan. How does Afghanistan see it? I think this requires a little bit of historical perspective. Having spent over the last 40 years an opportunity to observe this, I come away with the sense that it is part of, let me say that we use the term hardwired. It is hardwired in Afghanistan that Pakistan is an adversary, is an overbearing state that, if it could, would exercise undue influence in the country. But the point of all of this is that in some respects, India is to Afghanistan what China is to Pakistan. It is that state that provides a countervailing counterweight against what is viewed here as a Pakistan which has, as I say, ambitions which are overbearing. It has long been the case that the relationship between New Delhi and Kabul has been a strong one. And this predates, we have to go back to the 50s and 60s to see the extent here to which there was economic, cultural, as well as political ties. I do recall that certainly the largest embassy in Kabul, by far, in the 1970s and 60s, was the Indian embassy. Pakistan sees, of course, Afghanistan as an opportunity for India to destabilize Pakistan. And we hear a great deal about the Indians being up to no good in Baluchistan, and indeed that India plays a role in the activities, the threat posed by extremists in the frontier area, the TTP, that this is Indian sponsored. I believe there are a lot of distortions here and myths here. What is actually happening, I think, first of all, is I believe that there is an exaggeration of India's activities there. We've heard about the consulates. There are 4 Indian consulates, not 15, not 20, not 25. But that's not the important thing. Do consulates collect information? Are the eyes and ears? Of course they are. That's what all consulates are. There's nothing surprising about that. If they're not doing that, they're not doing their job. India is active in Afghanistan in a way developmentally that Pakistan is not. Now, part of that is because in that suspicion that Afghanistan has, it has actually denied overtures on the part of Pakistan to provide assistance, particularly in the development of human capital. So it's not that Pakistan hasn't played a role here, but Pakistan, I believe, to be more convincing to the Afghans, would have to play a role which would be something close to what the Indians, actually the Indians are one of the major contributors today of development in Afghanistan. Well more than $12 billion. I think it may be up to 15. I don't know what the exact figure is at the moment.
It's less than one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. You're absolutely right. Yeah, 1.2. Yes, 1.2. I'm sorry. It may have gone to 1.4. I'm sorry. Absolutely. Now, it doesn't mean that India is doing this entirely as a benevolent activity. India has economic opportunities in mind. Nothing stands out more than that road from Charbahar in Iran to the Ring Road, which obviously has implications for the importance of Gwadar Port and the opportunities that India has here to bypass Pakistan in reaching to Central Asia as well as Afghanistan. As far as India's role in Baluchistan, I would like to see Pakistan, if it has evidence of this, to show it. I think it's important here for that to be a credible argument, for there to be evidence presented, and if it's there, for the international community to see it. Up to this date, Pakistan has not done that. With respect to the TTP, I'm afraid this still is in the realm of conspiracy theory. I'm hard-pressed to find, as an analyst, that India has anything to gain by a strengthened extremist presence in the frontier, which ultimately challenges the state of Pakistan. My own view, and I think of others as well, is that a destabilized, fractured Pakistan is not only not in India's interest, it presents the most serious threat that India has to its national security. A stable Pakistan that is in control of its own destiny is far more the kind of Pakistan that India ultimately can feel confident in arriving at agreements. A weak Pakistan is not a Pakistan that can go to the table and negotiate successfully. Now, does India lack the sensitivity to understand the threats and the suspicions that Pakistan has? No. India has shown an absence here of real appreciation of what sometimes its actions, how they will be read in Pakistan. India has shown perhaps the same kind of insensitivity in general for the responsibilities of a power that wants to claim the kind of regional role that India seeks in this area. What should be of Pakistan's concern with regard to India is the event of a civil war in Afghanistan. In that case, we will see a proxy conflict in Afghanistan in which Iran, Russia and its clients, and India will be intimately involved. And I would submit to you today that under those circumstances, an Indian military presence through the use of advisors at least, but also potentially arms, into Afghanistan is a very real possibility. Now that to me represents a threat such that one of the greatest concerns now should be for Pakistan to avoid the advent of a civil war in that country and the uncertainties that that's likely to bear.